Alright traders, I am back again with another video, and I want to take time to show you a trade that I'm looking at again. Currently I entered this Kumo breakout here to the downside, and I was able to pick up a good 50 pips, but then the market retraced and I didn't want to let this sit because looking at the daily time frame I see a few different things. So first of all, we bring the daily time up here and you could see we're still bearish based off of being below the Kumo. So the bias is bearish, but we have a TK crossover here that's bullish. Our future is still dark, so we still have dark clouds to the downside, and we're underneath of the cloud, which is big. Now I'm seeing rejection here. As you could see, we have showing a lot of buying pressure right here because you could see the big wicks on these two previous candles. And at this support level here at 129,293, that's where price seems to be rejecting this level and trying to move higher. So based off of the daily time frame and the price action that I'm seeing at this moment, I would expect this level to hold, but I'm going to trade what I see really happening based off of Ichimoku. And then if certain levels are broken based off of the price action, then I may change my immediate bias, but my immediate bias is going to be to the downside based off of, number one, we're below the cloud. All right, we have a dark future and we have some resistance above us and we have some support below us. We have a little bit of resistance above us, and it's going to be showing off of this flat cloud right here. So that's a little bit of resistance. If the market could bust through that level, then we probably continue to the upside. You got a thin cloud here, so it's not going to be a strong resistance level for the market to bust through. So let's go to the 4-hour time frame. That's the time frame that I'm really looking at capturing this trade. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, everything is bearish here as your future is dark. All right, so you got a dark cloud. Your TK crossover is bearish. Chiku span is below price still. And price is just sitting on the outer edge, the lower edge of this cloud here. So the one thing that we do notice is we're bouncing off of this resistance level here, which is my Kijinsen. So we also see that 4-hour rejection here. All right, so here's our support level from the daily time frame at 129.29.3, where the market rejected that level, but we have since pulled up to this Kijinsen and this thicker cloud on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm looking to see if we can hold this level. Now we have this hangman right here, as you can see, sitting on the chart right here. So let me show you a few things that I'm looking at happening. So we have this hangman that's showing me that there's a possible rejection at this level and a possible change of direction. So our immediate direction is to the upside. But with this signal here, we may see this support level hold, resistance. We may see that resistance level hold and the market continue to go to the downside. All right, so that's what I'm kind of looking for. You could see the little rejection we have here on the 4-hour time frame. Our thicker cloud here is going to be a little bit harder for the market to get through. So you may see the market come up a little bit and then fall back down to the downside, and you may see this level hold. So that's what I'm looking, because everything here is bearish. We have crossover that's bearish. We have a future that's bearish. You could see it's a dark future. We have a TK crossover. Let me show you that crossover here. So we go back to this. So here's my crossover that happened way back here, and ever since then we've been bearish. You could see Tenkan-sen, the green line, following below my Kijinsen. My Kijinsen is going to signify basically when the market is in equilibrium, because the market pulls back the Kijinsen when we get pretty close to market being equilibrium, and then pulls away when we have disequilibrium. So you have that crossover here. That TK crossover is bearish. Your future here is bearish. All right, Chiku span is over here somewhere, about 26 candles to the backside. So it's below this price. We're sitting inside this resistance level. All right, so that's going to be an issue. But overall, price is looking like it's trying to bounce off of this level and maybe move to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for on my 4-hour time frame. I mean, we're violating fractals. We're violating these bear fractals. All right, so once you're breaking these bear fractals, you expect the market to continue to break those bear fractals. We haven't broken any bull fractals. All right, so the bull fractals have not been violated. So until we violate these bull fractals, the market's going to continue to the downside. Now, if we get a 4-hour candle that can violate this level here where this fractal is, so our 4-hour candle violates and closes up in this area, then you have a violation of a bull fractal and the market possibly moving to the upside. So here's your fractal. Once the market closes to the upside above that fractal, then more than likely you're starting to break bull fractals. The market may move higher. Definitely close above this, and outside of the cloud our bias would definitely change. So for now my bias is to the downside, because what I'm going to look at is this. I want to trade below this level here of this hangman here. All right, and then when I'm going to the upside, I'm going to wait for a Kumo breakout to the upside. I want to see everything switch over and give me a bullish signal. But currently we have all bearish signals, and I want to look at some price action to enter this market. So below this level here, this hangman, that's where I'm looking to enter the market. It'll signify a little bit of movement to the downside, start to break a lower low, a previous low. Once we break that previous low, then the market may be telling us which direction it may want to go, but we still have to be careful of a false break to the downside or even a false break to the upside. So that's what I'm looking at currently. I mean, all your signals here still tell you that you're bearish. On your 4-hour, all of your signals are bearish, and then on your daily, you're still bearish, even though we have this rejection here showing this big rejection. But this big rejection doesn't mean that this level is going to hold. But a lot of times, guys, when I see these rejections like this on a daily time frame at a support and resistance level, that usually holds. Okay, but if we can violate this point, we're going to look for our target to be somewhere down here. All right, so we'll start here, and we won't be greedy. We'll look for profit at this point, and then we can see if the market continues to go lower, maybe fall to 126.88 and then 126.14. So our first target will be 127.26, then 126.88, and then 126.14 if we can get down to that point. All right, so you'll take that on the 4-hour time frame, because that's what I'm looking at. So your trend starts on the smaller time frame. It'll start on that lower time frame on the 4-hour time frame. So if we're going to continue to the downside, we just have a correction here. The market's already continuing showing you downside movement on the 4-hour, and you see you're bearish on the daily also, but your immediate trend was to the upside, just like here. But this is just a correction, so you got a correction here. All right, but overall we're moving to this downside here. So that's what we're looking at. So we want to find a point where we want comfortable taking our trade. That's going to be at a resistance level. So once we hit this resistance level of your Kijinsen and your cloud, we want to see what happens here. We want to see price get below this level here, and then I'll put my entry like this. I'll pretty much set my entry up here. Now you can base your stop loss off a few things. You could go to the top of this hangman here and put your stop loss. I like to be above my fractal, so it makes it a little bit bigger for me. All right, but I like to base my stop loss off a technical level. So I'm going to be at that fractal level. If the market makes that fractal, you could see if we're not breaking bull fractals, then it's a good place to have your stop loss. So if it's not going to violate this fractal level, now if I don't get triggered and the market opens up, comes up here and closes above, well then I know I'm changing my bias. I'm not even going to have my trade on the table. I'll take it off the table. But if the market comes down here, closes below this level, then that's where I want to be in the market at this point right here. All right, and that'll be my stop loss. See if we can at least first hit this level, as we said. So our first level of profit will be, again, looking at it on the 4-hour time frame, we want to at least get to this point, but I'm pretty thinking we can break these levels. So we'll just look to take some profit around here and then maybe violate that level. And if we can violate this point, then we're coming down to these areas here. So you want to be careful with your trade. Always look at your levels where you may have a area where the market may turn around, and these support levels are areas where the market may turn around. So this is minor support here. This is a little bit bigger support down here. This is the daily time frame support. Here you got some 4-hour time frame support. So I just want to see my trade violate these levels and then continue to the downside. If it's not going to violate these levels and it comes back down to that level, then more than likely we're going to see the market go a little bit sideways and hang in that area there. Then other than that, we won't have much of a trade really going on then. All right, but it does look like we have some momentum to the downside. Now we still need to see what happens here, and as I said, this is our level of entry and this is our stop loss level, and then our good targets down here off of the daily time frame support and resistance levels. So that's what we're looking at on the euro yen 4-hour time frame, breaking down from the daily time frame. That's it, guys. Visit me at fxatOneglance.com and learn more about trading this Ichimoku. All right, guys, till next time, have a great one. God bless. So long.